The island has no clear history about the origin of its name, but there are two legends as to how the island's name came to be. Hello and welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you and published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the world. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment on this article, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell. This week's article is When Masons Had to Hide, The Case of Coffin Island, by Brother Luis A. Otero Gonzalez, 32nd degree, read by Brother Matt Bowers, 32nd degree, and comes from the July-August 2026 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. Most Masons today take their liberties for granted to attend their respective lodges at night, knowing they can assemble in peace and work on polishing their rough ashlars. Unfortunately, such was not the case for many 19th century Masons, particularly those living in countries where the fraternity was accused of threatening the government or social establishment. This forced Masons in many jurisdictions throughout Latin America to work in darkness. One circumstance occurred with Aurora Lodge No. 7 in the municipality of Ponce, Puerto Rico, when the island was a colony of Spain. The monarchical government was opposed to the peaceful assembly of citizens of lodges under the jurisdiction of the Grand Lodge of Puerto Rico. Lodges affiliated with the Grand Lodge of Puerto Rico were accused of being subversive and revolutionary, since the Grand Lodge was chartered by the Grand Lodge of Cuba, which was considered separatist. This forced members of the Aurora Lodge to hide and work on a small island near the southern coast of Puerto Rico. Caja de Muertos Island, or Coffin Island, as it is known in English, is located 4.8 nautical miles off the southern coast of Puerto Rico by the city of Ponce. It is a pristine tropical uninhabited island with beautiful beaches, attracting many visitors looking to enjoy water sports. The island has no clear history about the origin of its name, but there are two legends as to how the island's name came to be. One explains the origin as due to the island's resemblance to a coffin from the shore of the central southern coast of the main island of Puerto Rico. The other, more colorful legend relates to José Joaquim Almeida, born in Portugal circa 1777, who immigrated to the United States, becoming an American citizen and settling in Baltimore, Maryland. He fought in the Anglo-American War of 1812 and the War of Independence of Argentina. The legend says that Almeida navigated the waters of the Caribbean between Puerto Rico and St. Thomas Islands, attacking Spanish ships and using Caja de Muertos Island on dark nights to hide his conquests. Eventually, Spain ordered the capture of Almeida and, in February 1832, he was executed by the Spanish government of the island. The legend further says that 3 of his men went to Caja de Muertos with the idea of keeping Almeida's treasures, for there they found a large wooden chest. However, one of the pirates betrayed the other 2, killing them to keep the supposed treasure. However, when he finally opened the chest, he found instead the embalmed body of Almeida's wife, who died on board the pirate ship during an earlier battle. In his effort to leave the macabre sight, the pirate then tripped over one of the bodies of the men he killed and fell into a void, killing himself. When the party failed to return to the ship, sailors went to the cave, finding the dead bodies of their mates and the coffin. This, then, led to the origin of the island's name. It is said that Robert Louis Stevenson used this legend and the island for his novel Treasure Island. With this in mind, we can appreciate why, during the period of Masonic darkness, the members of Aurora Lodge in Ponce, Puerto Rico, moved to conduct their work on the uninhabited island located 5.2 miles south of the main island of Puerto Rico. Aurora Lodge was chartered in 1871, its first master being José R. Alomar. Due to hostility towards Brother Alomar, who was a successful businessman and owner of a large hacienda named Los Placeres, requested permission from the central government in San Juan to establish a fishery and other enterprises to harvest the natural resources of Caja de Muertos Island. Eventually, he was granted permission to build a structure on the island. Alomar then built a pier and a bunkhouse on the northwest side of the island. The very rustic property afforded Alomar an isolated place to conduct Masonic meetings. The lodge was chartered in 1871 by the National Grand Orient of Spain, but unfortunately, the Spanish constitutional government was toppled and persecutions of Freemasons in Puerto Rico resumed. This forced Masons to suspend all work by 1873. It was not until 1883 that the Brethren asked the Grand Lodge of Cuba for a charter. The year 1884 gave new life to Aurora No. 7 under the umbrella of the newly formed Provincial Grand Lodge of Puerto Rico. Although Alomar was still active and instrumental in the reactivation of Aurora Lodge, he passed away on September 28, 1885, just 8 days after the birth of the Sovereign Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Puerto Rico. Aurora Lodge was originally chartered in 1871 by the National Grand Orient of Spain as a capitular lodge with the power to charter other lodges, which it did. Within the original documents, the official seal of the lodge was found. In the seal, the numbers 17 degrees 59N inscribed above the Ponce inscription correspond to the coordinates where the lodge met on Caja de Muertos Island. They are not the precise numbers that we have today, which gives 17 degrees 53N, but are the geographical coordinates of the island. In the last quarter of the 19th century, Puerto Rico was ruled by cruel Spanish military governors who forbade people from congregating or participating in any organization that they deemed anti-government or revolutionary. The situation became so desperate that, on December 27, 1896, the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Puerto Rico suspended all Masonic meetings until safer times, which occurred later when the island became part of the United States after the Spanish-American War in 1898. As of today, Aurora is still very active at the Grand Lodge of Puerto Rico, although currently working out of another temple due to damage caused by strong earthquakes that almost destroyed the structure. In 1987, the members of Aurora placed a commemorative plaque on the trail leading to the place where the Masons once held their meetings on Coffin Island, although most tourists simply come to enjoy the pleasures and scenery of a beautiful small tropical isle surrounded by the clear blue waters of the Caribbean Sea.